If your God requires silence when a child is being abused, then your faith protects privilege, not people. Welcome back to Theocracy Watch, where we keep a watchful eye on the ever-thinning line between church and state. This week, coming out of Washington state, we actually have some good news. A bill is heading to the governor's desk that could finally close a legal loophole that has shielded predators for decades. SB 5375 would require clergy to report child abuse even if it's confessed in private religious settings. For years, religious leaders have claimed special protection known as clergy-penitent privilege, a legal exemption that allows clergy to keep confessionals confidential even in cases of serious crimes. Allegedly designed to protect spiritual counsel, but in practice, it's been used as a system to shield abusers and the institutions that shelter them. They've hidden behind confessional secrecy, claiming that forcing disclosure would create a chilling effect, one that might erode trust in the church. But here's what they're not telling you. Clergy can report anonymously, and in most cases, they're not required to testify in court about confessions. The sacred seal defense holds no water. Jesus would even have no clue what the heck that is, I'm just saying. And as expected, the usual suspects are crying persecution, like the Washington State Catholic Conference, which claims the bill violates the sacred seal of confession. They've been joined by the Knights of Columbus and cheered on by a familiar chorus of evangelical leaders. But if a teacher, doctor, therapist, etc. hear of abuse, they are expected to report and could face charges if they don't. But when a priest hears it, suddenly it's sacred and it's above reproof. I'd like to make a public confession that I believe the penitent privilege is an open-door policy for others to harm members of the church community with no repercussions or accountability. It's a free-for-all, a cover-up. Although this bill isn't law yet, as it still needs the governor's signature, it's already rattling the institutions that rely on silence to survive, and it's a huge step forward for the vulnerable. It goes without saying that accountability is not an attack on religion. It's not anti-Christian bias. It's justice. Until next time, be curious.
Wow, that was incredible.
Good news. Yeah, I'm excited about this.
Well,
Man.
How long before we know?
That's a good question. I don't think it should be long at all because basically it just should be on his desk to be signed.
Excellent. So we'll find, because so many times this is something that is needed and makes sense and will help the community. And it's clearly because of those criteria, something the conservatives will oppose.
Yeah.
That's just, it seems like they're on the wrong side of everything. Now, because let me ask you, there are all right, let me rephrase that. I will rephrase that. The Christians will oppose. Not necessarily all Republicans oppose that, just necessarily probably Christians, or at least those Christians who fight it, because there's a whole group of people, I guess, gang of churches, whatever, who have been fighting this, or is it the church? They've been fighting this at the state level, at the national level. Why would you fight reporting? Because it's sacred? Because that offender's right to communicate with his God is more sacred than the defense of whatever child he may be abusing.
Yeah.
I'm just clear. Am I understanding that? That's right?
Clear to
We're
me.
right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And we're actually having to fight for that against those very people who claim to be the champion of children. And okay, I'm just clarifying because irony is,
how hard it is.
Welcome that.
Yeah. You know how hard it is to get Orthodox Christians and evangelicals to agree on anything? And so it's so odd seeing these Orthodox groups and these evangelical groups agreeing on not reporting child abuse. Like, wow, this is the thing y'all rally around.
right.
This is the thing you unite on, huh?
I see that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's insane.
It is.
Yep. Of all the things, again, good morning, Nancy. How are you doing? Churches have this incredible way of arguing and disagreeing on any given day, but band together when they get political.
When they get political.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
They got a
When
solution.
it's time to do harm or take somebody's rights, they're there. It's like churches unite.
Right?
It's time to oppress. Cobra will rise again.
Right. Cut off one head, two will grow back.
Yes.
Uh-huh.